Welcome to NarrativeNook where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
All right, you may go. Samson's expression remained nonchalant, but Serena was seething with jealousy. She would never forget the day Arabella first returned to the family, how her parents showered her with pocket money and all those beautiful clothes, shoes, handbags. Even the fashion company was handed over to their own daughter. Serena, spoiled by her parents for 18 years, had never received such treatment. Now, her uncle was lavishing Arabella with expensive gifts. "Let us have a minute." Samson leaned back, his aura still overpowering. "I'll dinner with Serena." David wanted to say something, but under his uncle's gaze, he decided to leave first. Seeing everyone leave, Serena gave a bitter smile, stirring her soup with a spoon. "Uncle Samson, you want to criticize me too, right?" "Why would I criticize you?" Serena's eyes widened slightly. Was someone finally different from others? You were pampered for 18 years. Then one day, a girl comes along, and she is the real heiress of this family. You're told you have no blood ties to this family, and you're someone else's child. Everyone tries to make up for her, treating her well with more affection they once had for you. You can't say that doesn't hurt. It seemed like Samson could read her mind, causing Serena's eyes to well up with tears. But think about it from her perspective. Because of a mistake, she suffered at the Murphy family for 18 years. Now that she's returned to her biological family, isn't it normal for everyone to treat her well and make it up to her? Serena looked up. It did make sense, but it hurt so much. She felt so much jealousy and sadness. Who poses the biggest threat to her position when she returned? Isn't it you, who was doted upon by the family for 18 years? Samson hit the nail on the head, but she didn't kick you out immediately. Instead, she allowed you to continue enjoying the luxury that was originally hers. Serena was taken aback, suddenly understanding the situation. She didn't resent, get angry or jealous that you stole her family and enjoyed the life that she should have had for the past 18 years. She didn't hold these against you. Doesn't it show that she's willing to accept you? Serena's tears welled up in her eyes, a bit stunned. From your conversation just now, it's obvious that there are some small frictions between you two. Like just now, even though you were a bit too assertive, she didn't threaten to kick you out of the house, but calmly explained to you not to overthink. In my understanding of her, she's already making the biggest compromise. Where's yours? I didn't see it. Serena didn't say anything, her tears streaming down her face. You need to understand that she was the one who was wrongly adopted. The family feels guilty towards her. She could easily use this guilt to kick you out of the house. If she were to say something, how likely do you think it would be for you to stay in this house? She had been warned about this before. She knew her chances were slim, almost non-existent. Serena, you've been in the center of the family for too long. You've forgotten that this position was originally hers. Samson said in a meaningful tone, while she was suffering at the Murphy family, being treated terribly by her adoptive parents because they took her as a curse, you were enjoying the affection given by her parents, her brothers, her family. If you were in her shoes, could you be as generous as her, allowing her to stay in the family and continue to share your family and wealth? Serena bit her lip. She knew she couldn't. Bella is a smart girl. She knew the trouble she was signing up for by letting you stay in this house. She anticipated the mess, yet she did it anyway. She took a step back for you, right to the edge of a cliff. You can't just push her off. Serena's eyes widened in shock, tears streaming down her cheeks. Dr. Mark is in charge of Grandma's condition. You should know that. Samson explained on Bella's behalf. He calls Bella Professor, and when he has tricky cases, he consults her. Out of respect for him, she came to see the patient. I didn't even know that the girl in front of me was my own niece. Serena hadn't expected that it wasn't her parents secretly bringing Bella to meet her grandma and uncle, but Dr. Mark had invited Bella. Because Bella was Dr. Bell. She had a solution for all the tricky cases. Only when your parents arrived and saw Bella with me did I realize how grown my niece was. Samson smiled warmly. Before that, she even saved me. Serena was surprised. She hadn't expected things to work out so coincidentally, Her uncle was a man of integrity. He wouldn't lie. So, her parents hadn't deceived her. It was her overthinking? Yes, this was not excessive. But why did all of this seem so infuriating earlier? From childhood to adulthood, everyone has spent 18 Christmases and Christmas Eves with you, but Bella only has this one, and yet you came to cause trouble. Sampson laughed, but Serena couldn't argue. Indeed, it was her arrival that upset everyone. I heard from Clark that they had already given you gifts before sending Bella hers. Last time, Clark promised to go shopping with Serena, but he bailed on her last minute because of Carol. Afterwards, Martha said Serena had bought Christmas gifts for each family member in advance. Without a second thought, Clark transferred $3 million into Serena's account, telling her to buy more for herself and not to be thrifty. Although Serena said she didn't need more Christmas gifts since she already received so many over the years and asked Clark to buy for Bella. But Clark told her, both she and Bella are his sisters, and he wouldn't leave out either of them. So before coming to Lidoria, he had already arranged for the gifts to be delivered to Serena. But Serena was taken aback. All 5 brothers sent her gifts? Why didn't she receive any? Don't be fooled by the price tag on Bella's gifts this time. Sampson smiled at her. The gifts you've received over the past 18 years aren't light either. Serena felt embarrassed. Do you like the gift from me? Upon hearing this, Serena was shocked again. Her uncle had sent her a gift too? Why didn't she see it? Haven't you unwrapped it? Sampson chuckled again, looking gentlemanly and graceful. Go home and take a look. Let me know if you don't like it. Serena really hadn't received any gifts. Were they collected by the servants and put in her room? Why didn't they tell her? She thought she had been forgotten by everyone. Also, Sampson suddenly remembered something and added, your parents have prepared a surprise for you too. If you hadn't shown up here, you would probably be watching fireworks at Reflections Villa by now. Serena's eyes widened in surprise. She also had fireworks to watch? Fireworks that belonged only to her? Suddenly, her feelings were all over the place, not knowing whether to feel happy or guilty. May gave the French window a slight knock, flashing a mischievous smile. Sir, Miss Collins is. Her words trailed off as she noticed Serena seated across from Sampson. She was taken aback. When did Serena arrive? Why was she here? Was she here to stir trouble? What about Bella? Sampson lifted his gaze in Bella's direction, his tone as casual as ever. The man was truly remarkable, maintaining his calm in such a situation. Miss Collins is distributing presents in the living room. May said, worry for Bella subtly reflected in her voice. She feared Serena might give Bella a hard time. Let's go. Sampson stood up, his hand resting on the back of Serena's chair. He spoke in a gentle tone, I've arranged some shows. It would be a shame to miss them. Serena nodded, rising to match his pace. Don't mind if Bella hasn't prepared a gift for you. Considering your tone towards her earlier wasn't exactly friendly. Sampson reminded as he led the way. Serena felt a bit embarrassed and nodded again. Uncle Sampson, I won't be as childish as just now. Although she had previously picked out a Christmas gift for Arabella in a pretentious manner and had it sent to Arabella's room. But it was just a cheap bracelet. Under normal circumstances, she wouldn't even wear it. Even if Arabella didn't present in return, she wouldn't feel anything. Dad, Mom, this is for you. Arabella, as the artist Mirabelle, had drawn 2 paintings in a row and, under the guise of calligraphy master Labella, penned a calligraphy piece for Hans to hang in his office or study room. Chaucel, this is yours. Arabella handed Chaucel a small note. Sympathetic glances were thrown in Chaucel's direction, for the note was pitifully small. Chaucel hadn't expected that he wouldn't even receive a painting, just this small note. But it was a gift from his sister after all, so he was still moved. He ruffled Arabella's hair gently and said, Thank you, silly girl. He then unfolded the note and was astonished to find several leads he'd been recently looking into. How could Bella have information on such confidential matters and even provide him with clues? At that moment, Arabella laughed, her smile bright and clear. You've got a painting too. She had deliberately hidden it earlier, just to see Chassel's disappointed expression. She hadn't expected Chassel to be so indulgent with her. Even when she gave him just a small note, Chassel didn't blame her. She tiptoed and whispered into Chassel's ear, "I found out that Myrna's dad likes Mirabelle's paintings." Hearing this, Chassel was deeply moved. "What are you two whispering about? I want to hear too." David came closer, and Arabella handed him 2 told-up sheets of A4 paper. The surrounding maids chuckled, beginning to feel sorry for David. David's heart dropped a beat, a chill creeping up his spine. Even Hans and Chassel had gotten paintings, and he was stuck with 2 sheets of A4 paper? But when he unrolled them, he found 2 freshly written songs. They were custom-made for him by Bella. He couldn't help humming them. The melody was catchy, and he was sure it would be a hit. "You're simply a treasure, sis." David was over the moon, unable to resist ruffling Arabella's hair. "What about mine?" Clark was eager, wondering what gift his sister had in store for him. A painting, perhaps? Or something else? "Check your WhatsApp." "WhatsApp?" Clark was puzzled, but upon checking it, he found a clue. Bella had already traced Carol's birth family to Summerfield. In no time, they believed they would have a lead. "There's also this." Arabella handed over a small vial. "You're a forensic pathologist. Sometimes during autopsies, you might inhale toxic gases or accidentally get poisoned. You can use what's in here. There are detailed instructions on the label." There had been incidents where people committed suicide in sealed spaces using toxic liquids, evaporating the harmful substances into the air. A forensic pathologist had once inhaled such toxic fumes during an autopsy, and by the time he was taken to the hospital, it was too late to save him. "I'll always carry this with me." Clark hadn't expected his sister to be so considerate, and he was deeply moved. "I'm not sure what Sean likes, so I just sketched a picture. I'll ask Hans to pass it on." Arabella handed another artwork to Hans. Bella Sampson sauntered over, a warm smile on his face. "Let's see what my darling niece has got me. Is this a painting by Mirabelle?" Upon seeing the powerful artwork and the stroke details, Sampson knew it was the work of Mirabelle. He was both surprised and concerned about his niece's expenditure. "Silly girl, you've spent too much." Sampson was well aware of the hefty price tag of Mirabelle's artwork. It wasn't something money could simply buy. May, who was standing nearby, playfully reminded, "Sir, if you look closer, does the paper seem familiar?" On further inspection, Sampson realized it was indeed the spare paper from his study. Only May had the liberty to enter his study any time. So, the paper must have been taken by May. But how did this grand artwork end up on it? Bella painted it. May couldn't help but blurt out, laughing. "What?" Sampson was stunned. Kenneth, while admiring the artwork his daughter had gifted him, casually remarked, "Oh, Bella is Mirabelle. She paints really fast. She can finish 3 or 4 pieces in an hour." Sampson was taken aback. He looked at his brother-in-law and sister, then at his nephews. It seemed like they all knew about Bella's identity. So, the renowned Mirabelle was right in front of him all along? Mirabelle was considered a master in the art world, with unmatched skills known far and wide. The person hailed as the scribe of Astronesia, the master of painting, was his very own niece. "Bella, you truly are extraordinary." Sampson praised her genuinely. Clark chimed in, "Uncle Sampson, you better keep this safe. Bella's artwork is worth a fortune. Many people would kill to get their hands on it. If you think the paper is too ordinary, you can give it to me or sell it to me at a high price." David looked on eagerly as Sampson carefully put away the painting. "Dream on." Despite its quick creation, Arabella's fluid strokes and bold style achieved a perfect blend of form and spirit, creating a lively and dynamic effect. True to the reputation of Master Mirabelle, she managed to capture the most challenging aspects of form and spirit in such a short time. Arabella then walked over to Serena, handing her a gift. "Do I have one too?" Serena was surprised. Upon opening it, she saw the words penned by Arabella, "Contentment brings happiness." Knowing that Arabella was indeed Labella, she knew that these words were nothing less than a rare treasure. Recalling the meaning of those words, and thinking about the inexpensive bracelet she had given to Arabella, along with some advice from her uncle. A shade of embarrassment crossed Serena's face. "Thank you, Arabella." There was a hint of guilt in her heart. Everyone was surprised that Arabella had a gift for Serena as well. Their gazes towards her softened. The atmosphere seemed to instantly become more harmonious. Samson noticed that the handwriting seemed familiar, as if it was from Labella. "Forgot to mention, Bella is Labella." Samson looked at his sister incredulously. "What did you say?" It took Samson a while to digest this fact. He hadn't expected his niece to be so talented and have so many identities. Next, everyone sat on the couch, Samson clapped his hands, and the entertainment started rolling in. Ballet dancers gracefully performed their routines. A magician appeared in the middle of the living room, showing off his fantastic tricks. There were clowns, skit performers, and so on. At that point, Arabella checked the time. It was almost 9. She remembered her promise to Romeo to spend a little time with him. "Where are you?" Arabella sent Romeo a message on WhatsApp. Romeo, whose hands were freezing cold, replied as quickly as possible. "Done with your work? I'm nearby. Whenever you're free, I'll come pick you up." "Now." Arabella sent the message, then quietly informed her uncle, "I'll be out for a bit." Samson thought she meant going out to get some fresh air in the garden. He nodded and asked, "Do you need your uncle to accompany you?" "No need." Romeo got into his car and had it driven to the opposite side of the mansion. The heater inside the car was very warm. The driver couldn't help feeling happy for Romeo. He thought, Mr. Macmillan was finally remembered. We no longer had to stand outside in the cold. We could finally leave this dreadful place. After a while, Romeo got out of the car and walked towards the mansion. A beautiful girl exited the mansion. Her features were exquisite, her clear eyes were like stars in the sky. So, she was the one Mr. Macmillan had been waiting for. Such a beautiful girl, she looked several years younger than Mr. Macmillan. The driver wondered if she was even 18 yet. So, Mr. Macmillan wasn't staring at the mansion earlier, but at the girl he was in love with. Finally, Romeo saw the girl he had been longing for. He pulled her into his embrace and whispered in her ear, "Merry Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas." White snowflakes fell from the sky, like a light mist. "Your present." Arabella had drawn an extra picture just before. Since she was at her uncle's house, she couldn't do much else but draw something quickly on paper. "Do I get another gift?" Romeo's eyes lit up with joy. He opened it to see a snow-filled sky with a couple tightly embracing each other. The couple's figures and outfits were clearly them. Romeo was beyond happy. He touched the girl's face, excitedly saying, "I love this gift so much. Did you spend a long time preparing it?" Arabella didn't dare to admit that it took less than 20 minutes. "It must have taken you a while," Romeo noted, emotion welling up in him as he realized Arabella's silence. "Have you been carrying it with you all this time?" Arabella didn't dare to admit that she had just drawn it on the spot. "How can you be so endearing?" Romeo was deeply moved. "I have a gift for you too." From behind, he hugged her and handed her a small remote control. "Press it." Arabella pressed the button, and thousands of drones flew towards them in an orderly manner, like a shower of stars in the night sky. In the night, they formed a spectacular message. "Bella, I love you. Mr. Sampson. Mr. Sampson." In the garden, May saw this scene and rushed into the house. Sampson, seeing her panic, immediately stopped his performance and asked calmly, "What's wrong?" "It's Miss Bella." May was panting heavily. All the family members stood up anxiously and asked, "What happened to her?" Someone confessed to her, taking up the whole night sky. Everyone rushed out of the house, only to see the night sky filled with drones, forming the words, "Bella, I love you." David was the first to react to the grand confession. It must be Romeo. Only he could pull off something like this. "You mean Romeo is here? Where is he?" Kenneth looked towards the direction of the mansion, but didn't see anyone. "This kid thinks he can win our Bella over with a little romance?" Clark watched the drones in the sky, suddenly feeling that the surprise he had prepared for Carol wasn't surprising at all. At least not as romantic as this. It's so tech-savvy and creative. May looked at the night sky and couldn't help but exclaim, "So, does Miss Bella have a boyfriend now? He seems to love her a lot." The drones split apart, forming a shape of a couple embracing, followed by a line of text, "I want to spend every day, every hour, every minute with you." Then, the drones shifted positions again. Many of the servants called out in surprise, "Are you kidding me? If every day, every hour, every minute is given to him, what about us? This kid must be nearby. Where's Bella? She said she was going out for a bit, could it be Romeo's here? Was she with Romeo?" Everyone realized what was going on. The drones in the night sky formed various romantic patterns, then turned into a large bouquet of flowers, delivered into a girl's hand. "Is this your Christmas gift to me?" Arabella turned her face just in time to catch a kiss. She smiled, her eyes softening. "I love it, thank you. There's more." Romeo took out a ring box from his pocket. Inside was a beautiful heart-shaped diamond ring. "This ring is different from the others." Romeo took it out and placed it on her slender finger. It was a rare blue diamond. The largest purity natural colored blue diamond in the world, weighing 39 carats. Long ago, it was purchased by the royal family for $80 million, but now it was in Romeo's possession, having paid an even higher price, and shaped into a heart. "I want to take you somewhere." Romeo took her hand and they got into the car. Along the way, all the skyscrapers belonging to the Macmillan Corporation began to put on one light show after another. The man, crafted from lights, striding over skyscrapers, extended a bouquet of flowers to a girl. The lights shifted, morphing into the words, "I love you." The girl accepted the flowers, and they embraced. The lights formed another word, "Bella." Passers-by stopped and captured the moment with their smartphones, speculating about the girl's identity and her extraordinary luck. To be able to commandeer the Macmillan Corporation's skyscrapers for such a romantic display was astonishing. As the car traversed through the city streets, Arabella watched one dazzling light show after another, each unique in its presentation. Finally, they arrived at a resort owned by the Macmillan Corporation. The place had been transformed into a sea of flowers. Hundreds of pink heart-shaped balloons, 3 stories high, floated above the flower bed, tethered by strings. The flower sea stretched as far as the eye could see. There were also giant plush toys, roses made of fresh flowers, romantic swings, and more. As Romeo helped Arabella out of the car, a shower of flower petals fell from the sky. With the backdrop of a water curtain from the fountain, the couple appeared to be traversing through the seasons. It was a romantic scene projected by lights. "Such a beautiful sight. Isn't anyone going to take our picture?" Arabella asked with a smile. "There is." Romeo had hired several photographers. As the snow and flower petals fell around them, Romeo and Arabella shared a passionate kiss, photographed from every angle. Meanwhile, several text messages arrived on Romeo's WhatsApp from Arabella's brothers. "Where have you taken my sister? She's not answering her calls or texts. Is she with you? Where are you guys? Dad wants you to come over if you can." And so on. At the same time, their romantic light show had made the news and was causing quite a stir online. Everyone was curious about who this Bella was. To have the Macmillan Corporation's skyscrapers at her disposal was unbelievable. The resort owned by the Macmillan Corporation was suspected to be the playground of a rich kid trying to impress his girlfriend. The sea of flowers alone would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, all decorated with fresh flowers. Then there were the giant toys and the gigantic roses. They were all made of fresh flowers. It was clear that this guy was sparing no expense to win his girlfriend's heart. David came across the news. "It's got to be Romeo, didn't think the guy had it in him to be so romantic. Probably followed her from home," Hans speculated. "He's genuinely in love with Bella," Chaucel commented. Meanwhile, Serena sat in a corner, enviously scrolling through the trending news on her phone. She had no idea that Romeo could love someone so intensely. After a long time, she texted Martha on WhatsApp. "Martha, have you or any of your staff seen my brothers, or the gifts my uncle sent?" Serena thought for a moment before adding, "They said they sent them before I left for Lidoria, but I haven't seen them yet." I'm not sure. Martha responded quickly. Let me check the security footage. Don't worry. Okay, thank you, Martha. Serena, you're being formal again. Martha replied with a laugh. By the way, did you like the gift I sent? Before Serena left for Lydoria, Martha had sent her a gift, but she had been in such a rush that she hadn't had time to open it. I'll open it when I get back. I'm sure I'll love anything from you, Martha. Serena found the gifts. Martha replied, we had a ton of deliveries that day, none of you were home, so the staff put them in the storage room. There were quite a few boxes with your name on them. Why don't you open them and snap a picture for me? I'm curious to see what they sent. Serena sent a voice message to Martha. If I hadn't stormed off to Lydoria in a huff, I would have seen the fireworks my parents prepared for me. It was my impulsiveness that made me miss their kindness. Martha suddenly remembered the grand fireworks last night. Many of the staff had taken out their phones to take pictures. At the time, she was wondering who was so ostentatious to set off such grand fireworks. It wasn't just the whole villa area, even vehicles and pedestrians passing by the villa area could see it. The message spelled out in the fireworks was peace and joy. It was a great sentiment, so many people took out their phones to take pictures, record videos and post them online. It caused quite a stir on the internet. The idea actually came from Louisa, copied from her son. She heard that David was going to prepare a firework display for Bella, and thinking of Serena all alone at home, she decided to put on a grand firework display too, trying to be fair to both. Martha, did you see the fireworks last night? Martha vaguely replied, I heard the noise, but didn't go out to see. I wonder if any of the staff saw it and recorded it. I'll ask on WhatsApp later. Serena really wanted to see what the firework display her parents had prepared for her looked like. She thought about her parents not forgetting her, still treating her as their daughter. A sweet feeling suddenly welled up in her heart. Although Martha didn't want to take pictures and send them to her, the young masters and Samson told Serena that they had already prepared Christmas gifts for her. After a while, Serena received the photos Martha sent. Her uncle, parents, and brothers all sent her valuable gifts, including limited edition handbags, dresses, fancy high heels, and expensive jewelry she wanted but couldn't get. Her brothers even wrote her handwritten cards, treating her as their sister, their tone as doting as ever. Especially David, who mentioned the concert tickets again in the card, saying that all the tickets he had were taken by his manager for networking, leaving only 2. Because Bella and Romeo had never been to his concert, and she had given away many tickets to classmates, thinking she didn't care about these. So he gave the tickets to Bella and Romeo first, and only received her call later when he had run out of tickets. His sincere tone made Serena feel a bit ashamed. Because tonight, she had lost her temper with David at the dinner table, blaming him for giving the tickets to Arabella first. It turned out she had overthought it. David had given out the tickets first, then said he didn't have any. He didn't mean to lie to her. Serena, what did they give to Miss Bella? Martha suddenly asked. Does it matter? Of course it matters. They can't just give her a villa and only give you a necklace. The disparity would be too big. Martha, over these past 18 years, the total worth of the gifts I've received is not a paltry sum. Serena, have you been brainwashed by someone again? You mustn't believe their nonsense. You're just a foster daughter now, an outsider to the Collins family. Of course they'll want to fob you off with as little money as possible. Serena was firm. I believe Uncle Samson doesn't think like that. Was it your uncle who brainwashed you? Martha knew she shouldn't have let Serena go out alone. She was too innocent, too susceptible to manipulation. Martha, I think Uncle Samson's right. Arabella suffered for 18 years growing up in the Murphy family. It's only natural that everyone wants to make it up to her now that she's back with her biological parents. You're sympathizing with her now? Martha was frustrated. She hadn't expected Samson to change Serena's mind so easily with just a few words. She's part of this family. She didn't kick me out the moment she came back, but let me stay, enjoying the wealth and luxury that should have been hers. It's like she's sharing her fortune and her family with me. Foolish girl, this is not sharing. You've been with the family for 18 years. they're willing to pay for this bond. The gifts they give, the care they show, have nothing to do with Arabella. It's due to the bond formed over these 18 years that they're willing to do this for you. But Martha, she was switched at birth. The family feels guilty about her. If she asked to get rid of me using this quilt, there's a high chance the family would agree. Sweetheart, even if they let you leave, they would still worry about you. They would still take care of you in their own ways. Do you know why? Because for the past 18 years, they've loved you like their own daughter. This bond, formed over 18 years, can't be severed just because Arabella says so. Serena lowered her head, remaining silent for a while before speaking. But Martha, I still think Uncle Sampson makes sense. Her parents still treated her as their daughter, throwing her grand feasts. Her brothers still treated her as their sister, gifting her things she liked. And Uncle Sampson wasn't biased. The worth of his gift was the same as previous years. Serena put herself in Arabella's shoes. If I were her, I couldn't be as magnanimous as she is, allowing me to stay and share her status, wealth, and family. She's already very generous. Oh dear. Hearing Serena say this, Martha sighed heavily. When you're bullied by Arabella again, you'll understand that I'm looking out for you. Martha, she also gave me a gift. What? Martha was taken aback. She gave me a Christmas gift. It's a calligraphy piece. Serena described the scene as it happened. Upon hearing what Arabella had written, Martha scoffed. She's warning you not to be too greedy. I knew she was up to no good. She's trying to win over the family by giving you a gift, while subtly implying something else. But she's Libella after all. Each of her characters is worth a fortune. What I gave her in return was just a cheap bracelet. Normally, Serena would disdain such a bracelet, but Arabella didn't mind. She even reciprocated with a valuable gift. If they could be real sisters, that wouldn't be so bad. It was just a thought. Serena knew Arabella wouldn't be friends with anyone. In her eyes, it seemed that there was only room for ambition. Martha wasn't quite sure what to say. It took her a moment to finally ask, "So, what did Mr. Macmillan gift Arabella? Did you hear anything?" Serena truthfully replied, "He used a swarm of drones to confess his love to her, even orchestrated a light show on all of Macmillan Corporation's skyscrapers in Lidoria. Word is there were fields of flowers too. Some resort guests saw it, even took pictures, and posted them online. Although the couple were too far away to see clearly, the woman's outfit was identical to what Arabella wore that day. The silhouette, the aura, it was undoubtedly Arabella. And what about Mr. Martin? What did he gift you?" Martha couldn't help but inquire. "He gave me a ring on Christmas Eve, and a necklace for Christmas." "Are they expensive?" "Both combined, probably around $200,000. Martha breathed a sigh of relief. At least it was more valuable than what Romeo prepared for Arabella. That light show was merely a waste of electricity. Those flowers were just some worthless blooms. It seems like Mr. Macmillan is losing interest in her, putting up a show but not willing to actually spend money." Upon hearing this, Serena was somewhat surprised. "Really? I thought Romeo seemed pretty smitten with her." "Is Romeo short of cash?" "No." "Then why didn't he buy a priceless ring or necklace for Arabella? If he's so smitten, why is he reluctant to spend money?" But girls find these surprises romantic. On the contrary, Serena felt Martin was too rigid, didn't know how to be romantic. The designs of his gifts weren't as appealing as the ones her brothers gave her. And he just handed them over, without any element of surprise. By the way, there's a significant decrease in online posts and videos about Sampson taking his girlfriend shopping. Unless you specifically search for it, there are no related topics popping up. I guess your uncle used his connections to suppress the hype. He probably didn't want you to see it. I bet he's feeling guilty. Martha couldn't help but add fuel to the fire. "If you ask me, he's just being unfair, buying all those things for Arabella. I heard that in about 10 hours, a plane will land directly at Reflections Villa. It's filled with gifts your uncle bought for Arabella, and they even told us to bring more people to unload, claiming there's plenty of stuff." Serena's response was much more subdued. Well, I did see a comment or two from mall employees saying that it was Arabella who bought lots of QY items for my uncle, and he was merely reciprocating. Their familial relationship was also clarified, leaving the only trolls with no ammunition, which is probably why the hype slowly died down. Martha noticed that Serena was consistently defending Arabella tonight, which made her anxious. She thought, this naive girl is brainwashed and she doesn't even realize. She had worked hard to steer the child on the right path, only for the manipulative Collins family to lead her astray again. At that moment, Serena heard a commotion downstairs, followed by someone rushing up to knock on her door. Serena, are you resting? Your grandma is awake. Upon hearing this, Serena quickly bid Martha goodbye, hung up the phone, and rushed downstairs. At the same time, upon receiving news of her grandmother's awakening, Arabella immediately rushed back to the villa. Once grandma's condition stabilizes a bit, I'll go visit her. Romeo patted Arabella's head, already feeling contented. Tonight, Arabella had spent an entire hour with him. Much more than he had anticipated. With her grandmother's current condition, Arabella's presence was needed, for they still needed to recognize each other.
If we're listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.